Every study shows rape is not correlated with just sexual gratification. It is a power structure.
Okay.
So it is about objectifying and abusing women when you rape them, not about whether or not you want sex. What I am saying is that women are less
So this is just in general, and I want to push back against this a little bit just because I think there's a more nuanced view to be had. There's definitely been a large push to kind of get this idea that like rape is not about sex, it's about power. Once again, I think that is binary thinking. Okay, I don't think it is just about sex, and I don't think it's just about power. Okay, I think it can be both. Okay, I don't think that the frat guy who sexually assaults and rapes a woman in college, it's entirely about wanting power. Is that a big aspect? Of course. Can it also be because he's horny and wants to have sex and doesn't give a shit about her consent? Yes. So it's both. I think removing the idea that there is something like sexual in nature about rape, I think removes kind of the harm of it, right? Like for like a lot of people think rape is worse than regular physical assault. If someone gets beaten up and like physically assaulted violently, a lot of people think like, you know, it's understandable that like that's not really as bad as being sexually assaulted just because of the deepness of the violation, because the violation is sexual in nature, because of how vulnerable someone is, because pregnancy could occur, because of the likelihood of sexually transmitted infections and diseases. So I think that, I don't know, I don't like kind of reducing things like that. I think that rape is about sex and it's about power. And I think power is a huge component. We can't overlook that. But it is also sexual in nature. It is sex, okay? This idea that rape's not sex, it's violence, or it's just about power, removes kind of what almost makes rape uniquely horrific, which is that it is a sexual crime. And it is at the most intimate level. So I don't know. I kind of want to push back against that. It's important that we acknowledge that rape is about both sex and power. And I don't think we can really solve the problem, solve in a very loose sense, combat the issue of sexual assault without acknowledging that it is in fact sexual. You know what I mean? Like if rape isn't about sex, then it's not really sexual assault. It's still sexual in nature. Okay? So I think it's really important that we acknowledge that and don't kind of go with this narrative that it's just about power. Power, 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 that's it. A lot of people on the left love to focus everything on power. Everything is about power, nothing else. Once again, I don't think the world is that simple, and I think we need to acknowledge that, you know, complexity there in something as you know, deep and, you know, important as combating sexual assault.